Well, welcome to the 2-minute warning. We're still waiting on Adam the Bull here. Uh, Adam the Bull is in the building, right here. What's going on, Bull?
Oh, we're on already?
Yeah, 2-minute warning.
Look at that.
Look what we ready to go, man. So far, your thoughts on this game?
It's been ugly. I don't understand. Well, from an offensive standpoint, some big drops, right? That second drive where they ended with the field goal, Amari Cooper, I know he slipped, but he's got to catch that ball in the end zone. That's unfortunate. Deshaun Watson's missed some throws here and there. Jay Feely crushing Stefanski for the last time they had the ball, throwing on 3rd and 4th down. But, in the end, I got Deshaun Watson. He's got to make plays, and Deshaun Watson, again, hasn't made enough plays defensively. Just a disaster. I mean, every time Taysom Hill is on the field, I know he threw a deep pass last week, but that's not happening in this weather, G. Every time he's been on the field, they've run the ball, and it seems like they're surprised by it every time. Stunning. How about you?
I you know what? I had to turn it off. I was so angered because, Bull, we watch this every doggone week. Like it's like, why are they surprised? They don't have Chris Olave. There's no Michael Thomas. There's none of those guys. There's no Jarvis Landry. The only thing you had to do today was to play the run. And if it needed to be the goal line, if it needed to be, 3 defensive tackles in the play, but yet still you're lining up in wide fours with your defensive ends lined up in Parma and Westlake. And they're running the ball with Taysom Hill. What did you expect they were going to do? What did you think? It's 45 to below 0.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Dalton's made some decent throws in the second half to keep some drives going. But, I don't understand. I mean, they've just been killed. And not just Taysom Hill, but also Kamara via the Wildcat, right? But again, when he's in Wildcat, they're running the ball. I mean, it's 100% guarantee.
I just have it to me, and here I'll just say this for everybody that's watching, and come on in, it's 175 people, and I think the Browns still have the ball moving, right? I think they still got the ball.
Mm-hmm.
It just reeks of you're up 10-0, and then it's almost as if the Browns. How many times have we seen this at Bull? The Browns go down before half, they get some points. Right when they get a double-digit lead, right when it looks like they're trying to put them space in between them and the other team, Joe Woods just seems to let them walk downfield.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Just walk downfield and get 3 points, and then they get the ball back. And then they walk downfield again. It's just baffling. It's baffling.
And the offense has had terrible field position in the second half, and they just haven't. They had the one drive where they were moving the ball. Nick Chubb had some big runs, but they keep stalling out on these drives. The defense has been terrible since middle of the second quarter, and the offense has been bad. And plenty of criticism to go around, but it's not. Let's see, 3rd and 13 here, 58 seconds to go. Watson drops back, fires, and it is caught. It looks like a first down at the 33. Obviously, they have 2 timeouts left. And this is not over, as miserable as we are about this game, and it's been miserable. Browns call their second timeout. 51 seconds left. They got a 1st and 10.
They have been all over them. They've been all over them. And here's what I'm going to say about this too, Bull. I'll give you credit for this one. All year I've advocated for Kareem Hunt. It looks like Kareem Hunt is lost a major step. It looks like he lost a major step. Yeah. Kareem Hunt does not have the same burst. He does not have that same quickness that I saw last year. Maybe he does. His mind or heart isn't in it, but it looks like he's definitely lost a step. And I'll say that you said that earlier this year,
especially getting out of the gate, right? Like it feels like once he gets going, he's fine, but like it feels like it takes him forever to get out of that starting gate.
Yeah,
that play where they ran with him on that 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 1, whatever. I can't remember these. Whatever.
He was at fullback, and he gave it to him, and he couldn't get out of stance. Couldn't get out of his stance, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
So right now, I don't even have it up. I'm relying on you. What are we looking at as far as this?
All right. We got 1st and 10, 51 seconds left. They're in a timeout. And obviously the Browns, beyond having to pull this out in the final minute, also need some help to stay alive in the playoff race. Yeah. That help not looking great right now. Let's see. You need the Bengals to beat the Patriots. They're winning 22-12. Although it looked like the Bengals are going to win that game 40-0, and the Patriots are making it a game. It's 22-12, and they're driving. You need the Ravens to lose. They're up 17-6 with 4 minutes to go. Although the Falcons are in the red zone. And the Titans are beating the Texans right now. Completion to the 20, down to the 15. I think it's David Bell, I believe, who had a bad drop earlier.
A David Bell sighting.
Yep, David Bell. 1st and 10 Browns at the 15. Did they call another timeout? The clock's not moving. They must have called their – I don't know what happened here.
We got one super chat. Donnie Stewart.
Timeout Browns.
Said just that every good player that comes here seems to lose a step. Well, that's part of the game. We talk about windows all the time. There is consequences to not winning. These guys are humans too. Donnie M says, super chat, appreciate you. Chubb is not a shotgun running back. Why does Stefanski not realize that? Gosh, I think a lot of it, shotgun Stefanski is part of trying to figure out what he's going to do with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Right. And that's a lot of the criticism that they're talking about.
Yeah.
You look at Chubb has been the main focus of this offense, and now you're trying to marry the two, and he's having some growing pains.
It's going to take a full off season to get it, but this game's not over. 43 seconds to go. Watson drops back to pass, has time, fires for the end zone. It is incomplete. He threw it out. I don't even think he was trying to hit him. It was good coverage. 2nd and 10, 38 seconds to go. And he was going for Cooper in the end zone. So now it's 2nd down. So incomplete. Browns are out of timeouts. 38 seconds left. 2nd and 10 at the 15-yard line. But again, guys, listen, we can have all the criticisms we want of the coaching staff. We all want Joe Woods out. Some people want Stefanski out. It's not just the coaches. The players got to play better. Watson drops back to pass, scrambles out left, now in trouble, fires it for the end zone. It is incomplete. I think DPJ had a shot at it in the corner of the end zone, but he got hit and it got knocked out. Oh, that was a pretty sweet throw. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
That was a tough play for DPJ. I mean, he had to dot the I with both of his feet.
I didn't.
But it's 3rd and 10, 30 seconds left. Time at this point, I guess, doesn't matter that much because and by the way, if the Browns score a touchdown, do you go for 2 to win it, or you just send it to overtime? You got to send it to overtime, right?
I send it to overtime.
In this case. All right, Watson from the 15, 3rd and 10, drops back, fires. It is incomplete. Oh, that should have been caught by David Njoku. Let me tell you something. He has had an awful game today. He has looked lost in the soup out there today. What is he doing?
These guys.
See this replay. David Njoku. It's right to that would have been a touchdown. Wait till you see this play, G. You got it on or
no, I don't. But people in the chat is killing him right now.
Oh my God, David Njoku. That's a touchdown if he catches it.
People is in the chat right now.
Oh my God. David Njoku, he has had 3 big drops today. This is it, last play, 4th and 10 at the 15. Watson has time. Standing in the pocket, finally tries to scramble out. He gets hit, and he gets sacked, and the game is over. He's got to throw the ball. He's got to throw the ball. You got to give it a shot. That's it. 3rd down play. That was the game. Oh, my God.
Bull, this is crazy. Because I don't listen. I didn't even have to watch it. I did not even have to watch it. I didn't have to watch it, guys.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you. I came in here and we came to do the 2-minute warning. And usually I pull that up over here and let's watch the game. No, because you know what? The whole microcosm what the Browns have been doing is that somebody not making a play. Somebody dropping the ball, somebody not catching the rock, somebody throw it to a guy, he's wide open, he drops it, then you take a sack on 3rd down when you got to throw it. It's just a microcosm of what's going on.
Go ahead, G. You keep going.
And my thing is, look, I'm not opposed to Kevin Stefanski. I know I'm not stupid. I know Kevin Stefanski is going to be here next year, but I am now of a firm believer. They need an offensive coordinator. I'm not impressed. I don't see it.
Well, they have an offensive coordinator. You just want him to call plays.
Yes.
But let me say this. Let me say this, G. What they gave Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb had 31 carries. They had 31 carries, plus he threw them the ball 4 times. So 35 touches. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know why. To me, today wasn't about the play. I mean, if you want to complain about that one series, the 3rd and 4th and 2, that he should have ran one of those plays, maybe. But the bottom line is Nick Chubb averaged under 4 yards a carry, and Kareem Hunt had 7 carries for 8 yards. So between them, they were 31 for 100. That's not a particularly good day. I mean, they ran the ball. They ran it more than they threw it.
Here's the thing, though. It's
all
about.
Oh, my gosh.
This dude, this guy. It's all about what you do and when you do it. My thing is, there is. I look at. I take everything in totality.
Yeah.
Let's look at this game from a perspective of the second half. Why in the third quarter the Browns never, even when they were moving the ball with Brissett, they never got points in the third quarter. It's like pulling teeth. It's a pattern. We started off great. We get our 10 points. We're up 10, and then nothing the rest of the game. Nothing. And so you got to ask yourself, to me, it ain't even about whether it's Chubb or whatever the case is. They just got to move the football. And they don't do a good job of moving the football. And you already know what it is defensively. It's just it's one of those things. I don't see it. I just don't see it, man.
For people, the weather dictated. I mean, I don't tell you. They ran the ball more than they threw it. And by the fourth quarter, you had to throw it some. They're down 7 points. On that last drive, they had to throw the ball. So going into that last drive, it was like 8 more runs than passes. So
let's get to this super chat. Yeah. Charles T says 3 touchdown passes dropped was the difference. Hey, let's keep it real. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna put it all on these dudes. I'm not gonna put it all on these dudes. When you got an opportunity, Amari Cooper dropped one in the end zone. Evidently, Donovan Peoples-Jones dropped one, and David Njoku dropped one.
To be fair to DPJ, it was a really tough play. I mean, that was tough. But Njoku was easy. I mean, that should have been easy. And Cooper was sliding, but the ball still hit him in the hands. I'm gonna give DPJ a pass on that one, but the other two, you got to go back and see the replay of the Njoku pass. It would have been not 100% a touchdown. I guess it possibly would have been tackled to like the 1 yard line, but I'm 99% sure that would have been a touchdown. Man,
to me, I think this goes to a overall different state of affairs here. They ran the ball. They ran the ball 30 times, but how many times did Deshaun Watson throw this ball today? What was that?
31.
Jeez. I talked to Darryl Ryder before the game in the Browns pregame show. He said he shouldn't have more than 10.
What the hell does Darryl know? I love Darryl, but what the hell does he know?
Here's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There's 2 things that always gets me, and I'm gonna go this route. And once again, we'll put the offense to the side, right? We'll set that aside. Here's your problem. When you are a team, right? There's certain things that happen and you have a whole squad. But the problem is this. Every single time, you can't disconnect your right arm from your left arm. If I cut my right hand and I get an infection in my right hand, I can't say, oh, well, my left hand is good because and don't treat my right hand. Because at some point in time, my whole body's going to die. You're going to get sick, all of you. And right now, we've been treating this offense like, it was Jacoby Brissett. We'll concentrate on that. Then it was Deshaun Watson. We'll concentrate on that. Then it's Nick Chubb getting the ball enough. But you got an infection on your other hand, and you don't even look at it. When you look at this and you say, you lost to Andy Dalton, Taysom Hill running the Wildcat, and freaking Alvin Kamara with no receivers. and you lost handily
Right.
at home. How does that happen?
The other team's quarterback was 8 of 15 for 92 yards and a pick, and you lost by a touchdown.
15. Think about it. 15 passes. Where was the Deshaun Watson's runs? You gashed him for a touchdown with the Deshaun Watson run. Right. You never saw it again. What about the RPO stuff? You never saw any of that. It's like you can get creative and do things. If they want to put their running back in Wildcat, put your running back in Wildcat.
But, in the end, they lost this game because they didn't make plays, not because of play calling. I just don't believe they lost this game. Every game, the fans go nuts. Play calling, Stefanski, fire him. The players got to make plays. They drop balls in the end zone. We got to make plays.
They drop, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
You can't, I don't care what you do. Yeah. You cannot win games with that defensive coordinator. You just can't. Because here's the thing. You're asking yourself to play. We're asking these dudes on offense, you got to make every single play. That's not going to happen. It's 55 below zero.
Listen, I don't disagree. We're on the same page that Joe Wood sucks. But the reality is today, even though I agree the Browns defense played poorly, the offense only needed 20 points to win.
My thing is they should have never even sniffed 17.
No, they shouldn't have. You're right. But once they did, the offense has got to make plays. You got to catch the ball. I mean, come on. There were drops all over the place in this game. Yeah, and if they hold on, David Njoku looked like he was asleep. I mean, he was completely lost. He made so many bad plays in this game.
Listen,
I don't even know what to say.
I'll tell you what. The thing is, when you got, and I said this before the game, I was walking outside today, and I said I would not play if they was paying me to play. When you got out there and you seen these dudes, when you're that corner route that Stefanski threw, first of all, that's a terrible play design. Why would you only be running a post? You running a post corner, a 1 or 2 route thing with Donovan Peoples-Jones, and that corner route he's throwing is hard as hell to complete in 70-degree weather. He's throwing that with 40 degrees on the sideline. Guys, the ball is as hard as a stone, and it's sailing on them. I'm like, why would you not just run that twice and get me in position if they was going to take it?
I just think in the end, this obsession with the play calling, we do it every week. The fans do it every week. Like if I watch every game, I can find a handful of plays in every game that I could complain about the play calling. The players play. You want Stefanski? Everybody wants Stefanski fired. Fine. I think it's stupid. You want to fire him? Fine. I don't know what to tell you. They didn't lose. I don't think they lost because of Kevin Stefanski. They lost because they didn't make plays. Every week we want to make excuses for the players. I think it's crazy. Yeah, fine. I suck because I'm defending the coach. I'm saying can the players make freaking plays?
He should have caught the rock.
My God.
Our offense looks great if it's 2002. His calling is not spectacular, and there's no innovation.
And then when there's innovation and it doesn't work, then people complain he's the smartest guy in the room. So you can't complain he's the smartest guy in the room. He thinks he's the smartest guy. Every time he just tries to do something creative, we complain he's the smartest guy. And then what do we want him to do? We want him to run. He ran over 30 times.
You got to think about it. You got to understand this too.
Yeah.
You got to look at the comparison. If you say this is one of the worst weather games of all time, right? There's only so here's the thing. He had it. You ever heard you get behind your play sheet? Sometimes you get behind your play sheet and you realize, well, wow, now I have to throw the football because I didn't move the football and I didn't get points when I could have got them and when I should have got them before. So you get behind the play sheet. Here's the problem. There's other coaching staffs, right? And look what they did. They said, Andy Dalton, we're not even going to throw it more than 15 times. They had a plan. They had one. They didn't have a receiver. And sometimes as a coach, you have to come in and say, look, we got to do our part to make sure we're putting our people in the best position. You know what, Andy Dalton, they said, we're going to have you throw it 15 times. That was it. That's 15 less than Deshaun Watson. They said, Taysom Hill, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to get you damn near 100. Then they said Alvin Kamara, we'll put you in the Wildcat and do it. Now here's the point.
So you're saying that the Browns with Deshaun Watson should throw as little as Andy Dalton? I don't understand.
I would have. Of course I would.
But gee, they weren't running the ball all that effectively.
But that's the point. Sometimes when you ain't running the ball that effectively, you have to do it until it continues to work.
I know, but he did, and he ran it. Nick Chubb touched it 24 times on that. But gee, on that last drive, okay, on that last drive of the game, when you're down 7, there's a few minutes to go.
You got to pass there. Okay, that's cool. That's 4.
Yeah.
I'm talking about throughout. You have to play complementary football. And one of the things I have a problem with is if your staff is not corroborating or collaborating, here's what happens. You're up 10-0, right? You're up 10-0. You go to Joe Woods and say, listen, we got him right where we want him. We lock these dudes down here. We get another point, some more points. We now put them in a position where they have to throw the football. Yeah. And then they walked up the field. Now, my thing is, you gave up 3, right? But in that position, you have to be thinking, okay, it's a 10-3 ball game now. Yeah. Let's go ahead and start to establish some stuff.
Which they did, which is what they were trying to do. They were running. Until they threw the ball the last 11 plays of the game when they basically had no choice, right?
So you said it was 20.
What's that?
I see. Go ahead. I see what you're saying. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? He only had thrown the ball until the last 11 plays. There were 34 runs and 20 passes. But by the last 11 plays, you had to throw the ball.
I'll give you that.
So to that point, 34 of the 54 plays were passes. So that's what everybody wanted. That's what he did. But for the last 11, but in the end, it's 34-31 because he had to throw it at the end.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. There, even when you talk about, and we're getting into minutia, there's a couple super chats we want to read.
Yeah.
What we're saying here is this. When you just say run the ball, all runs aren't created equally.
Okay, fair.
I think when you look at the 2 running games, which running game was more creative and diverse? You have to give that to the Saints. They had less to work with, right? If you know that the Saints are coming.
Didn't we just say that the Browns had no excuse not for stopping it? We knew exactly what they were going to do. So how creative was it?
Oh, well, it was creative enough that they said, listen, Andy Dalton is not in the game. We'll put it on Taysom Hill, and we'll switch running the Wildcat between both of them.
But to me, that's not creative. It's stupid, and the Browns just didn't deal with it well.
Oh no, it's more creative than, listen, you gotta think about it. Yeah. If you got a real hard field and it's cold outside, everyone's in the middle of the box. You know what they did? They went to the outside and said, listen, let's find out if you have gap integrity. Let's find out if you can set an edge. We know Myles Garrett can set an edge, but what about that other defensive end over there? What about your linebackers? Because the Browns don't tackle in space well. And when you run to the outside and you make people have pursuit angles, you're going to put them in one-on-one situations to have to make a tackle. And they don't make tackles well. So they did that. My thing is this. Overall, in general, when you look at this game, it comes down to a few things. The players didn't make the plays when they needed to make the plays because they could have been in positions to do that, and they didn't. They dropped the ball at the end of the game. I give you that. Coaches didn't make a good enough game plan in order, in my opinion, to beat the other staff because you're competing against those guys too. And all I'm saying is this. When you go back and you sit back and you evaluate, and this has just always been my problem with Kevin Stefanski, if you know you got somebody on the staff and you keep saying, well, it ain't going to do no good, who do we know? What are we going to do? We don't have anybody on the staff.
I hear you. I agree with you. I agree with you.
Record.
But that agreed. But that has nothing to do with this game specifically at this point. Like, we can bring that up every week. I get it. I think in the end, are there any positives out of this game? Is there anything you feel good about?
No, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. And that's just why you think I turned it off? I think to the point, and I'll give this to Browns fans. Let me explain it to you. The reason why people, is Kevin Stefanski that bad? There's some things that happen where the play call here or there, a couple plays here or there. You got people dropping the ball. It ain't all on him. But what you're seeing, Bull, and what you're seeing in the chat is this. people's just tired. They just tired. Like, when you get tired and fed up, you don't be trying to hear nothing.
Yeah.
Like you just don't want to hear it because it starts to seem like the same thing every single week.
Yeah.
If it's not this, it's that. If it's not that, it's this. And so what I ask is, what, as a Browns fan, what do we have to hang our hat on?
Oh yeah, what you have to hang your hat on is that Deshaun Watson's going to get back to being a great quarterback again next year.
Well, that's a hope. That's a hope.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it shouldn't just be a hope. It should be a short thing. If it's not, nothing else matters. You fire the coach, do whatever the hell you want. I just think it's lame to every week for fans. Oh, it's the coach, the coach, the coach. No. I mean, that's part of it. It's all part of it.
Let's see. Set Apart Last says it's about preparation. The Saints, coming from a dome in the swamps, was more prepared than we were, and that's on Stefanski.
How are they more prepared? How?
I think
the Browns were running the ball 70% of the time until those final 11 plays. At that point, they had. By the way, the Bengals are about to blow a 22-0 lead to the Patriots. You believe that?
What's the score?
It's now 22-18. The Patriots have a first and goal at the Bengals 5.
Boy, I tell you what, man. Hey, Mr. Sheeler, I don't know how to pronounce your first name. We appreciate your super chat. Thank you. That's it.
I don't know.
And I'll bet most of the throws before that were on second or third and long, that we've been throwing a single first down other than the last drive. So he's saying that, to your point, that, most of the time they ran the ball. And he's saying, to your point, most of the time we threw the ball on second and third and long when we had to, when we were down. So, this is a game, and I kind of, and this is the thing that we're talking about moving forward. Playoffs are over. That was a slim shot anyway. Playoffs are over. So when you look at these next couple of games, let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything in these last 3 games that could put, in your mind, Kevin Stefanski's job being in jeopardy? Is there anything?
If I were making the decision?
Yeah.
If I felt like the team completely quit in the last 2 games, I guess I'd have to think about it. If I were an owner of a team, I'd evaluate my coach and everything every year. I'd give it some thought. Mm-hmm. In the end, I probably would bring him back. But he's not done a great job. Don't get me wrong. I don't think Kevin Stefanski's done a very good job this year. I just don't think the answer is firing him. And maybe I'll turn out to be wrong about that. I hope not. I don't think the answer is firing him, and I don't think they lost this game because of him today. But they didn't win it because of him. I mean, the team, the offense has just disappeared since Deshaun Watson took over.
So this is another thing too. Yeah. Some people like Stefanski's offense because it says it's top 10 or top 4, top 3. I've been a person that says yes, it's been effective, but I will say his offenses are more effective when you have rudimentary quarterbacks and rudimentary pieces and parts. I'll give you an example. When I watched the Cleveland Browns and I watched the All-22, they're not running any advanced concepts. They're not running any, extreme vertical routes. They're running bootlegs and they're running little short stop routes and maybe a deep over occasionally. That's why if you have a quarterback that is not able to get the ball to do certain parts of the field, you don't have to worry about it because you ain't gonna have him thrown that way. The plays aren't designed like that.
Right.
When I look at Kevin Stefanski's playbook, there has to be some really some thoughts about the way his concepts work, because there's way too many times, and you see it today. Deshaun Watson had some time. He had time in the pocket a lot of times, and he's sitting there patting and looking, and no one's open.
No,
because a lot of those routes are 1- and 2-man routes. You expect to get somebody on play action, and then all of a sudden they showed the deep shot to Amari Cooper where he just kind of ran off, and the guys were on it. So my thing is, I think that he's going to have to go back, and if he's going to call the plays, and I don't know if this is going to be easier said than done. He's going to call the plays. he's going to have to rethink the way his concepts work in route combinations, because I think he's been used to calling stuff like with guys that aren't used to getting open and wide open offenses. He's just going to have to reevaluate that, because right now it doesn't seem like people are open a lot.
No, I definitely think there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this offense. I don't think there's any doubt about it, right? And if for the people that have defended Kevin Stefanski, and it's hard to defend him at this point because they've had a miserable season. If Kevin Stefanski can't figure this out, well, yeah, then a new coach needs to be in. What I've seen is Kevin Stefanski's offense overachieving with Baker Mayfield and Jacoby Brissett, who to me are both borderline starting quarterbacks.
Okay.
And so I believe that when given the time and given the offseason, and not being, and not having a quarterback that hasn't played in 2 years, but now he's played 6 games, has a regular offseason program. Yeah, I would like to see some creativity. I would also like to see people be reasonable that when he tries to do something creative and it doesn't work, then we're screaming he thinks he's so smart. That happens a lot.
Now, here's the thing. When you talk about the creativity, there's 2 plays that I can think of. The tight end reverse in Atlanta was ridiculous. Yeah.
And the Brissett deep throw. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. And Kevin Stefanski gets a bad grade for his coaching job this year. And if Jimmy Haslam thinks that should get him fired, then so be it. I mean, can the Browns, but somebody saying, Bull's crazy. They could get Sean Payton. You're not getting Sean Payton. First of all, he's not a free agent. Like, the Saints would have to trade him to the Browns. What are the Browns giving up?
Like, here, and I hate to say this. By the way, Munch TV exclamation point said it's 15 degrees gusting winds. 30-yard balls were dropped. Saints had balls bounce off their helmets too. We were out coached. I'll say this, and I'm gonna just have to be real with you. I'm gonna be real with y'all.
Yeah,
I'm not a big fan of Stefanski, but I know. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. He's not gonna go nowhere, man. He's not gonna go nowhere. He's gonna be right here in the off season. Why do you think they're comfortable? And not only this too, I'm gonna set y'all up for it. Let me set y'all up for it. I think not only Stefanski might be back, the comfort level of Prefer and Joe Woods, I don't got no inside information on it yet, but I'm going to tell you what, the comfort level of what they got, this might be a run it back season, and I'm going to be pissed off.
I'll tell you that. If they don't fire Joe Woods and Prefer, then I'm going to call for Stefanski's job. And then all the people that are mad at me because I'm supposedly a Stefanski apologist, I'll join you on the fire, because you have to fire Woods and you have to fire Prefer, and I think they will both be gone.
Listen, Bull, I hope you're right, because I'm going to tell you what. They are comfortable looking. They look like it, because here's if it was uncomfortable in the office, it. We don't work with people that we done got uncomfortable with. You know it be tension in the air, especially when somebody be messing up. Guess what? If I don't see him going, it don't look like he even mentioning nothing to Joe Woods. It look like Joe Woods has full autonomy of everything going on. And he looked comfortable. And I'm sitting here thinking, on those passes where he runs, and he runs, it was third down. And it was 3rd and 11, and it's cold outside. I'm like, bro, you dropped how many people again? You rushed 4. And you rushed 4. Myles Garrett almost got home, but you rushed 4. They hit Alvin Kamara over the middle. He runs all the way down 35 yards or whatever the case may be. But I'm telling you what, man. I think Stefanski will be here only because and look, they just said Deshaun Watson, he has a great relationship. They might just be floating that, but here's what I'm going to say. The reason I think this happens is I think Stefanski says next year you could pick some of the plays you want. Maybe you could pick half the plays you want. We'll collaborate on it. All I know is what's coming from Cleveland, They is not about to get rid of Coach Stefanski, no matter what I think, no matter what Bull talking about. Contrary to popular belief, we don't run people out of town. They ain't listening to it. They ain't listening to me because they would have read. Joe Woods been going to 2019 because I've been trying to get it in.
You know what's funny is for 10 years on the radio, people got mad at me. You're rooting for the Browns to lose. You're a hater. You're this. And now I've somehow become the Browns apologist.
Yes, you have.
I've turned it around. I've gone from Browns hater to Browns apologist.
You've been here long enough.
Yes.
That you can go from the hater of the Browns to the apologist of the Browns, right?
Yeah. And I don't like to think that way. I honestly, like, if I've called for a million coaches to be fired. I could be wrong. Contrary to popular belief, when I am wrong, I'll admit I'm wrong. Yes, when I argue, I always believe I'm right. Doesn't everybody believe they're right when they're arguing? Don't you want to be right? Sure. But, well, I mean, if I pick the Browns to lose, I want to be wrong. But you get what I'm saying. I just feel like Kevin Stefanski, overall, the offense has exceeded my expectations considering the quarterback play. Now, that doesn't excuse what happened for the defense. Ultimately, it is on him because you're right. He brought Joe Woods back. He shouldn't have. He should have fired him midseason. He didn't again. There needs to be a house cleaning. And if I'm wrong about Kevin Stefanski next year and he's still here, then I will apologize to all of you who think I'm an idiot. But I'm sure all you who think I'm an idiot are hoping that if they keep Stefanski, that I'm right and that he was the right guy for the job, as you are too, G, as a big Browns fan.
Yes. I just super chat. People keep yelling Sean Payton his first 6 years as head coach. Head coach is defense ranked 23rd or worse 4 times. Then in 2014, 15, and 16, and ranked 31st twice, 23rd. Would Cleveland be okay with that? Norland gave him time. Now here's what I'm gonna say. He did win it. He eventually went and got Mr. Bountygate. he stopped playing in games. He said,
and he had Drew Brees.
So that's different. It's a little different. But I hear what you're saying. I will say this: if you think about it, if I'm looking at this whole thing, here's one thing that will speed it up. The success of other people either shows you what you are or where you want to be and how far you're away. One thing is right now, if you take a look at what Kevin Stefanski has done compared to the rest of the AFC North, here's the thing that can get people up out of here quick. Don't let Pittsburgh end up with a better record than you. And they was trying. Don't let it happen. Yeah. If they're in the basement, there's one thing Jimmy Haslam could deal with. I could deal with being a middling. And the thing you got to worry about is Jimmy, right? Right here, because here's
you never know with him. He's a wild card.
Somebody put a tweet out that said this year today they said they were rallying around Freddie Kitchens, and we knew what happened to Freddie. Remember Chazinski 1 year. The thing that you got to worry about is this: what happens if Jimmy they get embarrassed the last 3 games? They don't win none of the games. All of a sudden, Texans got the pick.
Yeah.
And Jimmy,
things could change. You never know with Jimmy. I think Kevin Stefanski's probably going to be back, but for those of you who want him fired, I think there's a chance, especially if they lose out or if they finish with 5-6 wins. You never know. Jimmy Haslam could do anything.
So let me ask you this question. Speaking of that, Andrew Berry got hired after Stefanski. Mm-hmm. Is there any chance? Is there any chance that it's Andrew Berry?
I think that's possible. I do. Andrew Berry, I don't think he's been terrible as GM, but he hasn't been great. And we didn't. We talked about it yesterday. I don't like the Jack Conklin signing.
We got to
people are talking people into it now.
Yeah, they're revisionists now. People are saying, well, it's better than whatever they were going to be available to get on the market.
Exactly. Yeah, nobody was saying that a week ago.
Nobody was saying that. And by the way, Conklin keeps having penalties every week.
Yep.
He's getting holding every week.
Yep.
So that signing, and think about this. Bull, have you ever seen in the history of mankind? I haven't seen this, and I'm just saying, have you ever seen a left tackle who is going into his big money year that is counting against the cap big, like, because I think this is his 4th year, right?
Yeah, this year is year 3 for Jed.
So his number next year will be higher,
right?
So you got Jed, you got Batonio making 50-something million, 60. Yep. You got Taylor making 50-something, 60 million. You just gave Conklin 60 million, and Ethan Pochich, who is probably a guy that you need to bring back on a multi-year deal, is a free agent.
Yep.
So
although maybe they can't, they were planning on starting Nick Harris this year. Pochich has been so good.
Pochich is almost Pochich is so good. He's almost all pro.
What's amazing is he was a bust in Seattle. Like, he was a decent pick. He wasn't any good there. He's been great.
He's been awesome. So I'm looking at this like, are we going to be able to bring him back? Now, I've always said, and I'm not going to play both sides of the road here. I've always said, let him figure it out. There's a capologist, dude. If you can sign everybody, sign the money, let him figure it out. But I'm looking into like, dang, why you didn't have to sign Conklin like that?
Yeah, I get it. But people are just going to call us idiots, G. So every time, Hey, by the way, there's a big super chat from Rob. Did you see this one, Rob Venters?
Let me see. Here we go. Boom. I'm putting it up on the screen.
Yeah. We need a whole talent reevaluation ASAP. Bull, you have been optimistic this whole season. You bring up stats every time. Just because they are 5 in rushing doesn't equate to their losing record. I don't understand that. You bring up stats just because they are 5 in rushing doesn't equate to their losing. I don't understand that, but Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Rob, thank you for the super chat. Yes, I will agree. There does need to be a talent reevaluation.
Of course, absolutely.
Because here's the thing. If they want to play the way they want to play, they got to get some receivers in here.
Yeah.
I mean, not saying that, like, first of all, David Njoku, for the most part, played well.
Yeah, he had a bad day today, but he's had a solid season. Yeah.
For the most part, the most part, Donovan Peoples-Jones has played well this season.
Yes, he has.
For the most part, Amari Cooper has played well this season.
Yeah.
The problem is, they're missing one guy.
They're
missing.
I agree.
And the thing is, the speed guy. So my thing is, how do you go about getting it? I mean, is it in the draft? Are you gonna see free agency? Free agency to me is going to be something that I'll look at because I just don't know what they have available on the defensive side of the football. It's so bad over there. It's hard for me to differentiate between whether or not the defensive players are that garbage or it's just Joe Woods, period. It's that bad.
As much as I don't like Joe Woods, and I'm 100% with you, I don't give the players a complete pass.
Oh, no.
I mean, especially on the defensive line. The tackles aren't any good. That's the case.
Jordan Elliott, bye. Taven Bryant, bye. I don't know how much it costs to get Tommy Togiai, bye. You might be able to salvage Perion Winfrey.
Yeah.
Chase Winovich is giving you nothing.
Nothing.
He's getting Jadeveon Clowney is out more than he is. He's not coming back.
Nope. I think you can make a good argument that Joe Woods negatively affects some of the guys in the secondary, especially the corners. Like, by the way they play, and they don't play an aggressive style. Like, we need Denzel Ward needs to be aggressive out there. When he plays well. But for the defensive tackles, I mean, those they don't have the talent there.
They don't have it, and I don't know, as you continue to go through these post game shows, and when you pull it up, they tell you, the Browns have the worst 2 or 3 defensive tackles in the game, not just division or team, in the entire league. These guys are grading at 19%, 20%. I don't know what Phillips is going to be able to. I don't know. I wasn't a big fan of Phillips anyway. He didn't play well when he was here.
Nope.
Then you got to understand, what are you doing that middle linebacker, outside linebacker? So you got to evaluate Anthony Walker off of injury, who's older. You got to evaluate you got to evaluate Taki, and he's a free agent. You got to evaluate Phillips. And he's hurt. All 3 of them are coming off major injuries, as well as JOK, who regressed. Newsom regressed.
Big time.
So
Newsom big time as well. You're right.
So, those are all things that we'll look at and evaluate. And that's just part of it, man. It's just Hey, the Conklin extension is laughable.
I don't understand.
We'll
and by the way, all you fans in the chat who are saying, "Oh, I'm done with the Browns. I'm not watching." Come on, stop it. You're emotional right now. I get it. Even those of you who are mad at me, calling me an idiot, a dope, a schmuck, I love you. I love you all. I'm going to give you a pass for that because you're angry right now. I get it. Season's been a huge disappointment.
Bull has been going to therapy. He's been working on his stuff. Hey, Bull this is the Zen Bull. He don't even see red no more. It's more Zen. It's kumbaya.
Yeah. Well, I see my red, not yell and scream, but I'm trying to not get mad. See, Mad Max says I'm not one of you. Okay, maybe so, Mad Max.
Hey, listen, I
keep it a rational head. RD says I'm a smuck. I think he meant to say I'm a schmuck.
Yeah, I think that's SCH.
Shut the heck up. Abdul says shut the heck up. I don't know why. These are funny, but I'll give everybody a pass because everybody when you meet me in person, you're all nice. Except for one guy who threatened to beat me up one time.
See, here go the thing, bro. You gotta look. I told him, man, we can all live vicariously. They was mad at me. I was so mad. I said, we can live vicariously through the Bengals again this year. Maybe they live out our dreams. Like, the people was like, don't say that, G. Bush. Don't you do it. I'm like, man, look, man, you know me. I'm the Duke of knee jerk. Like, yo, what you mean? I'm the knee jerk. I do it all the time, man. By the way, we do want to say thank you for hanging out. We got 1,000 people in the chat right now. 1,000 people in the chat. We want to say thank you so much for spending your Christmas Eve with us. Me and Bull, we hung around for you guys. We got on here to cover this terrible game just to do it for the fans. We want to say also, if you want to get involved, you can definitely do our $1.99 program. You know what it is. I don't have the cool bumpers and stingers because I think I got on Restream instead of StreamYard. But it's all good. We could do it on both. The links is still up. So, we could do that. $1.99 for the one tier. We got emojis of everybody. $4.99, I believe. $4.99 tier. And you can definitely get our bonus content. We do, I think it's almost 4 hours. It's almost end up 4 hours, right? 4 hours, McNuggets, no. It's a lot of content. We do 15 minutes a day. Fresh content, you can get that. And by the way, help us right now. It's 1,000 people watching.
Yeah.
It don't even
become a subscriber.
You can be a subscriber.
Yeah.
And it don't cost you nothing to do this. Just hit the like button. If it's 1,000 people in here and it's 1,041 and you just hit the like, you watching it, you done already been here 35 minutes hearing us rant. Hit the like button. We should at least have 1,000 likes, right? Let's see if we can continue to move that on.
We got to get to 19,000 before the end of the year. We're about 250 away. We got to get there.
We got to, man. And so we'll continue to do that, and we'll continue to knock it out. We appreciate you, man. And we're talking, and we were talking about 6-0. Hey, I'll take one for that. That's on me. Hey, listen, we was talking about that Kool-Aid. Look, I was wrong. About that 6-0 Kool-Aid. I really bargained down and said 5-1. I didn't say no Kool-Aid, but yeah, we got a lot of work to work on.
Yeah,
we got a lot to work on, man.
Browns got a lot to do. They got a lot of upgrades to make, and it sucks. Football is so important to everybody here. We live and die with football. And so when the Browns kick sand in your face every year, put up stupid did you see that embarrassing video by that idiot J.W. Johnson put up yesterday? Did you see that?
Boy,
with Jake Paul?
Yeah.
I mean, like when the organization's embarrassing and they're losing games, like I get it. I understand why all the fans are frustrated. I get why you want to complain about the coach. It's easy to just say fire the coach rather than let's replace a bunch of players. And the Browns, it seems like they can never catch a break, right? You finally seem to be trending up. Stefanski, coach of the year, was his first year, and Baker was playing well. Then Baker goes down the crapper. Then you finally get a guy who you think is a franchise quarterback, and I still 100% believe, G, that Deshaun Watson will be a franchise quarterback. But obviously he hasn't been very good so far this year. There was way more rust than we could have all possibly expected. It's not all his fault. There were some bad drops today, but he has not looked like a franchise quarterback in these 4 games if you look at the body of work. I think he's going to be there next year. I don't believe he's just lost it. I just think missing almost 2 full years was a much bigger deal than anybody thought it was. I think that's pretty clear. I'm not saying it's an excuse. I still expected him. We all expect him to play better, but I think it's a factor in the way he's played. Certainly the weather today. You want to blame the coaching, the drops. There's plenty of blame to go around. When a team has a disappointing season, it's never just one thing. As much as we all agree, the one thing we all agree on is that Joe Wood should be gone and probably Prefer should be gone too. I think we all agree on that. But as much as we blame them, it's still never on one guy. It's a complete failed effort. The players, the entire coaching staff, the front office, they have failed. This year's an F. That's it. Bottom line, they can't afford a lot of any more Fs. And it sucks. The Browns fans have to suffer again watching other teams. The Bengals are in the playoffs. The Ravens, and I know I'm a Bengals fan. I'm not trying to be a phony. Of course, I'm rooting for the Bengals, but I know it sounds idiotic that I root for the Browns too. But it's better for our show, and it's better for all my friends are Browns fans. So I want the Browns to do well too. I know it doesn't make any sense, but whatever. So I get that it sucks to watch these other teams go to the playoffs. It stinks, and it's the day before Christmas. It's Christmas Eve, and fans don't want, and everybody's bummed out. That sucks.
I'll say this, and we'll put it like this. Look, I don't know nobody, but here's the thing: I will be beating the war drum all off season. They better fire Joe Woods and Mike Prefer the first second they can do it. They better do it, or all off season. They ain't seen no opposition research yet. You thought they had a dossier before. I will go on the warpath. Like, bro, no, we're not doing that. Because here's the thing. Here, I don't care. There's a lot of people that be sitting around with their fathers. You know how many fathers done died waiting for the Browns to be good? Sometimes we done waited since the 70s, man. Like think about it. The 70s, we got the brakes beat off of us by the Steelers, right? Mm-hmm. And then the Browns, they took your squad, moved them to Baltimore, and then they won. Like 4 years later. Then look, the Bengals low-key was good in the 80s. They was decent. Like they went through times of being horrible with us. But it's I'm sorry. Andy, I'll be damned if Andy Dalton gonna beat me as a Bengal, retire, come back, and then beat me again on a snowy day. We don't like that. I'll be damned if Joe Flacco win a Super Bowl, beat us all them times, come back and beat us as a Jet. I don't have patience. I'm telling you right now, they're gonna ride this 2022 out, but I'm letting you know something right now. Kevin Stefanski, if you ain't looking like a 4-2, 5-1, trending in the right direction, I will do podcasts every single day. I will sleep under my bed doing podcasts on my phone saying they should get rid of you. You got 6 games. 6. I don't care about the Deshaun Watson. You better be 4. I'm telling you, bro, you better be throwing the ball. I don't want to see. He better be 2,000 yards first 6 games.
Now, listen,
I don't
you're
care
right.
nothing about that.
You're 100% right. I'm with you. I'll be right there with you saying fire Kevin Stefanski if they don't get off to a good start, and I'll be ripping myself. I can already picture it if it happens. I'm such an idiot. I defended this guy. But let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope he gets off to that great start, and then everybody else has to say they're an idiot for wanting him fired. Let's go with that. Yes. But yeah, he's got to get off to a good start. You have to if they don't fire Joe Woods, I'm ripping Kevin Stefanski every day in the offseason until he fires Joe Woods. There's no excuse for Woods not to be fired. And same thing with Prefer. They both stink. They both need to be replaced. There's no excuse. Kevin Stefanski, it's a mixed bag. I understand why people want him fired. I understand that I'm one of the people that doesn't want him fired. I get the argument. To me, there's no argument for keeping Prefer, and there's no argument for keeping Woods. You got and Andrew Berry. I think in the end, I would give him and Stefanski one more shot. But this is it. It's Berry's last offseason if he doesn't get it right, and it's Stefanski's last season if he doesn't get it right. There's no excuse. This team is talented. They're more talented than they played this year. They have underachieved, but there are places where there is a lack of talent, and those must be addressed. The front 7 is a joke outside of Myles Garrett. They do need another receiver. There's work that's got to be done, and they got to stop holding on to their freaking draft picks like they're gold. Anthony Schwartz sucks. Get him out of town. I don't want to see him on the roster anymore. He is a useless he stinks. I don't want to call him a name, but he stinks. I guess I call him.
He's a track guy. He's a track guy.
Yeah.
And listen, we're not going to when we already been on here an hour. Yeah. What I want to do is I want to thank everybody for watching this. We're not going to do too much. We want to thank you for being on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. Thank you for watching this. Please hit that like button, subscribe. We've been on here an hour. We thank you. Cleveland Browns taking an L to the New Orleans Saints. The playoffs are done. We'll talk about it on Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show coming up on Monday. You know, they'll flip it in 100 different ways. We'll get it out. You get it out. You get in the chat. Let us know how you feel, and we'll do this, like we always do on a Monday. But we want
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry
Happy
Christmas
Hanukkah. Happy holidays.
And by the way, we don't have an intro or outro, so we're just going to say peace.